You know what's terrifying about underground spaces? They're separate from the world, disconnected. When you close that hatch, when you climb down those steps, you're entering a different place. A pocket, a bubble, where time moves differently, where sound doesn't travel right, where the rules change. And if something goes wrong, if you can't get back out, no one will hear you scream. No one will find you. You'll just be down there, forever. My name's Jennifer, and I bought a house in Norman, Oklahoma 6 months ago. Beautiful old craftsman, built in 1952. 3 bedrooms, hardwood floors, big backyard with mature trees. Perfect. The real estate agent mentioned the storm shelter. Original to the house, she said. These old in-ground shelters are built like tanks. You're lucky to have it. Oklahoma tornado country. You'll want that protection. She showed me the entrance. A concrete hatch in the backyard, hidden under overgrown grass. Heavy metal door with a rusted handle. Hasn't been opened in years, she admitted, but structurally sound. The inspector checked it. I looked at the hatch, at the weeds growing around it, at the rust, at the darkness beyond when she lifted it an inch. Does it need cleaning? I asked. She laughed. Probably. Most people use these for storage now. But if a tornado comes, you'll be glad it's there. I bought the house, moved in, forgot about the shelter. Until yesterday. Until the sirens started. Until the tornado warnings. Until I had to go down there. Until I discovered what's been waiting in my backyard. What's been living in that shelter. What's been calling to me through the concrete, through the earth, through my dreams, calling me home, calling me down, calling me to stay. I'd lived in the house for 6 months without opening the shelter. Never needed to. Never thought about it. It was just there, part of the property, like the garage or the fence. Something I owned but didn't use. But Oklahoma springs are dangerous. Tornado season. Everyone knows. Everyone prepares. Everyone watches the sky. That Tuesday started normal. Warm, humid, heavy air. That pre-storm feeling. I checked the weather. Severe thunderstorm watch. Possible tornadoes. Afternoon and evening. Standard warning. Happens all the time. Usually nothing. Usually just wind and rain and hail. But you watch. You stay alert. You prepare. By 6 p.m. the sky was wrong. Green. That sickly green color that means rotation. That means danger. That means get underground. The sirens started. That rising and falling wail. Tornado warning. Take shelter immediately. I grabbed my phone, my flashlight, my weather radio, and I went to the backyard, to the hatch, to the shelter I'd never opened, never cleaned, never inspected. I pulled at the handle, rusted, stuck. I pulled harder. It gave way. The hatch lifted with a groan of metal and concrete, revealing stairs, concrete steps going down into darkness, into the earth, into a space I'd never seen, never entered, never acknowledged. The smell hit me. Not mold, not earth. Something else. Something stale. Like old air. Like breath held for decades. Like a place that had been sealed and waiting and never quite empty. I didn't have time to think. The sirens were screaming. The sky was rotating. I could hear it. That sound. That train sound. That roar of a tornado. Close. Getting closer. I climbed down. Into the shelter. The stairs were steep. Maybe 12 steps. Descending 10 feet underground. My flashlight beam cut through the darkness, illuminating concrete walls. A small room. Maybe 8 by 10 feet. Shelves along one wall. A bench. A door in the far corner. Wait. A door? Storm shelters don't have doors. They're single rooms. One entrance. One exit. The hatch. That's it. But there was definitely a door. Wooden. Old. With a brass handle. Leading. Where? Underground. Deeper. Into something that shouldn't exist. I reached the bottom. The hatch was still open above me. I could see daylight, hear the sirens, hear the wind. But down here, it was quiet. Too quiet. Like the sound was being absorbed. Like the concrete was swallowing everything, making the space separate, isolated, disconnected. I turned my flashlight to the shelves. They weren't empty. There were supplies, old supplies, canned food, water bottles, candles, matches, all covered in dust, all ancient. From the 50s maybe. Original, never removed, never used, never refreshed. The cans were rusted, the labels faded. The water bottles were glass, old style, heavy, and behind them, I saw something else. A journal, leather-bound, cracked with age. I picked it up, opened it. The handwriting was neat, feminine, dated. May 3rd, 1952, first day in our new home. Robert finished the shelter today. Says we'll be safe now. Safe from the storms, safe from everything. I told him I don't like going down there, it feels wrong. Too quiet, too separated. Like it's not part of the world anymore. Like it's somewhere else. But he laughed. Said I worry too much. Said it's just concrete and earth. Said there's nothing to fear. More entries. Weeks. Months. Years. All about the shelter. About going down during storms. About staying longer each time. About noticing things. Strange things. May 15th, 1953. We sheltered for 3 hours today. Tornado missed us by a mile. But something was wrong down there. I heard sounds. From behind the door. The storage door Robert installed. He says it's just settling. Just the earth shifting. But I know what I heard. Footsteps. Someone walking. Down there in the dark. In the space that shouldn't exist. Behind the door. The door I was looking at now. The door I'd noticed. The door Robert had installed. For storage. For accessing... what? More space? More rooms? The entry kept going. June 8th, 1957, Robert opened the door yesterday to check the... he called them extension rooms. Said he'd dug them himself. Over the years, making the shelter bigger, safer, deeper. He wanted me to see, to understand. But when I looked, I couldn't see the end. Just tunnels, going down, going back, going places that don't make sense. He went in. I waited. He didn't come back for 2 hours. When he came back, something was wrong with his eyes. They looked distant, like he'd seen something, like he'd been somewhere far away, somewhere he couldn't explain. The journal had more entries, but the writing changed, got shakier, less coherent. Robert goes down there every night now. Says he's working, expanding, improving, making it perfect, making it ready. Ready for what? I asked. He smiled, that wrong smile. For when we need to stay, he said. For when we don't come back up. I don't go down anymore. I won't, even during storms. I'd rather die up here in the light in the world than survive down there, in the dark, in the wrong, in the place that isn't Oklahoma anymore. That isn't Earth. That isn't anywhere. The last entry. April 14th, 1959. Robert is gone. Went down 3 days ago. Hasn't come back. I called the police. They searched. Found nothing. The shelter is empty, they said. Just the main room. No tunnels. No extensions. No extra space. Just 8 by 10 feet of concrete. Just what should be there. But I know he went deeper. I know he found something. Or something found him. I'm sealing it. Locking it. Covering it. I'll never open that hatch again. Let the storms come. Let the tornadoes take me. Better that than what's down there. What's waiting. What's calling. What's hungry. I closed the journal. Looked at the door. The storage door. The extension. The tunnels that shouldn't exist. That the police had found nothing of. That had disappeared. Or had they? Had Robert dug them and then... what? Filled them in? Or had they never existed except for him? Except for his wife? except for the people who went down and never quite came back. I heard a sound from behind the door, a scraping, like footsteps, like someone walking, on concrete, on stone, on something solid, coming closer, coming toward the door, coming toward me. I backed away, toward the stairs, toward the hatch, toward escape. But when I looked up, the hatch was closed. The daylight was gone. The opening, sealed. I hadn't closed it. I'd left it open. I'd been careful. But it was closed now. Locked. Trapping me. Down here. In the shelter. In the dark. In the space between. I ran up the stairs, pushed at the hatch. It wouldn't move. Wouldn't budge. Like it was locked from the outside. Like someone had sealed it. But who? There was no one. The tornado. Maybe the tornado. Maybe the wind. Maybe debris. Maybe it fell shut and I was trapped. I pounded, screamed. Help! Someone! I'm down here! I'm trapped! No response, no sound. Nothing from above, just silence. And from below, more sounds, more footsteps, more movement. And now, voices, whispers, lots of them, all speaking at once, all saying the same things. Come down, come deeper, come see. We've been waiting, we've been preparing. The rooms are ready. The extension is complete. We're all here, all of us, everyone who came down, everyone who stayed, everyone who never left. Join us, become, belong, stay. The door opened, slowly, creaking on hinges that shouldn't exist, revealing not a storage closet, not a small room, but a tunnel, a passage, sloping down, going deep, lit by something, some faint phosphorescent glow, like the walls themselves were luminous, like the rock was alive, like the earth was showing the way. And in the tunnel, figures, shapes, standing, waiting, watching, all facing me, all smiling, and one in front, wearing clothes from the 50s. Work clothes, holding a shovel. Robert, still here, still digging, still expanding, still improving, still making it ready. Welcome, he said. His voice was dry, dusty, like it hadn't been used in decades, like it was being generated by something that remembered speech but didn't quite understand it. We've been waiting for you. The house. It always brings someone. Every few years, a new owner, a new occupant, a new addition. You're the 5th, maybe 6th. I've lost count. Time. Time works differently down here, but that's good. That means we have forever. Forever to dig. Forever to expand. Forever to improve. Forever to stay. The other figures moved forward, emerging from the tunnel, into the light of my flashlight, and I recognized them. From photos, from research, from the history I'd learned about the house, previous owners, previous occupants, previous people who'd bought the house and moved in and at some point, during some storm, gone down to the shelter, and never come back up, never been found, never been missed because what? Because they'd been erased, replaced, forgotten, or because up there, something else had climbed out of the shelter, something that looked like them, that sounded like them, that lived their lives, while they stayed down here, in the dark, in the tunnels, in the expansion, in the wrong. The tornado is here, Robert said. Direct hit. The house is gone. Everything above, destroyed. But down here, we're safe. We're protected. We're permanent. And now you're permanent too. Welcome home, Jennifer. Welcome to the shelter. Welcome to the extension. Welcome to forever. The figures surrounded me, reached for me, hands cold, fingers strong, pulling me, toward the tunnel, toward the depth, toward the glow. And I fought, screamed, resisted, but they were too many, too strong, too determined. They dragged me down, into the tunnel, into the passage, into the space that expanded forever, that went deeper than possible, that existed below Oklahoma, below Earth, below reality, into somewhere else, somewhere the shelter connected to, somewhere it had always been connected to, since Robert dug it, since he went too deep, since he breached something that was always there, something that wanted entry, something that used the shelter as a gateway, as an access point, as a way to take, to claim, to collect. I woke up at the bottom of the stairs, in the main room, the 8x10 room. The hatch was open above me, daylight streaming in. I could hear sirens, distant, the all clear. I climbed out, into my backyard, into the wreckage. The tornado had hit, trees down, fence destroyed, roof damaged, but the house was standing, still there, still mostly intact. I was alive. I'd survived. I'd what? Had I dreamed it? The tunnel? The figures? Robert? Had I passed out from fear? From lack of oxygen? From panic? Had I hallucinated the whole thing? I checked my phone. The time was 7:34 p.m. I'd gone down around 6:15. Only an hour. Not forever, not days, just an hour. Normal. Reasonable. I'd sheltered during the tornado and now it was over and I was fine. Everything was fine. Everything was normal, but I can still hear them. The whispers. Coming from below. From the shelter. From the hatch I've now sealed. Locked. Covered with boards and concrete blocks and heavy earth. Trying to keep them down. Trying to keep them contained. Trying to keep the door closed. But at night, I hear digging. From below. From under my bedroom. Under my foundation. Under my life. They're expanding. Still working. Still improving. Still coming. Coming up. Coming for me. Coming to bring me back. To finish what was started. To complete the collection. To add me to the permanent residence. To make me part of the extension. Part of the shelter. Part of the space that exists between Earth and something else. Something older. Something hungry. Something that waits underground. In shelters. In basements. In spaces we dig for protection. Spaces that sometimes dig too deep. That breach boundaries. That open doors we can't close. That invite things we can't refuse. That claim us. Forever. If you're fascinated by more disturbing stories from people who've discovered that some protective spaces are actually traps, make sure to subscribe to Campfire Nightmares. And I have to ask you, do you have a storm shelter? A basement? A crawl space under your house? Have you ever heard sounds from below that shouldn't be there? Felt like the space was bigger than it should be? Or found evidence that someone else has been down there, is still down there waiting? Share what you've heard in the comments because I think Robert wasn't the only one who dug too deep. I think there are shelters all over Oklahoma, all over tornado country, all over anywhere people hide underground. Shelters that connect to something. Shelters that go places they shouldn't. Shelters where the previous occupants never really left. Where they're still digging, still expanding, still waiting for the next storm, the next warning, the next person who comes down seeking shelter, seeking safety, seeking protection, never knowing that the real danger isn't the tornado. It's what's already down there, what's been there for decades, what's been waiting, in the dark, in the deep, in the extension that goes on forever. And once you go down, once you close that hatch, once you're separate from the world, you might not come back as yourself. You might come back as something else. Something that looks like you, sounds like you, lives your life, while you stay below, digging, expanding, waiting, forever.